And welcome to part 3 of the 6-part series looking into authenticity and the road home, where we begin to find that 100% authenticity, we start to see that there is no self there at all. In these 6 aspects, as mentioned before, are like a beam of white, pure light hitting a spectrum like this and spreading out into a myriad of colors. They're the same, yet for some reason they seem to show up in different ways within this very, very human experience. Also, make sure you check out the video. Part 2 can be found right here, and also that will lead you to part 1 if you would like to watch them in order. It's not necessary to watch them in any particular order. Today we are going to talk about trust. The essence of trust isn't something that we're looking at externally. It's not about trusting each other. It's not about trusting our environment, our boss, even our closest relationships, even though those can be strong indicators. When referring to trust here, we are looking right at intuition. We're looking at one of the core aspects of what it is to trust. Some things to mention about intuition. It doesn't have any orientation. It seems entirely spontaneous. If you can ever find a reason why, then it's not intuition any longer. It's been co-opted. If it can be justified, if it can be defined, if it seems to fit any kind of formula, if it is an A to B to C type of relationship, it's likely not intuition. And so to kind of make this a little bit more experiential, we can play with that. So let's start with this question. Can you pick a fruit and name it right now? Go. Say it out loud. Whatever you just said, that was intuitive. You didn't sit there, you didn't deliberate, there was no back and forth, there was no dilemma, it just came out. That's often how intuition shows up. Intuition is trusting. It is trusting ourselves. It is trusting our truest nature. It is trusting a part of us that cannot be oriented in a cause and effect manner in the way that the mind tends to function. And it is always speaking to us. It doesn't always come out as words, doesn't always come out as actions, but it can. It's some kind of guide that the more that we allow ourselves to come in contact with, the more we seem to trust ourselves. The whole name of this game is self-trust. The sensations, the feelings, allowing ourselves to experience whatever emotions or sensations there that are apparent, allowing ourselves to be completely immersed, we begin to teach ourselves something that seems like self-trust. It's a little bit of a misnomer, though, to feel whatever we feel, no matter what it is that we feel, without hesitation, to just allow. We get to a place where we feel well. You may find that all sense of suffering, all sense of pain is the feeling of well-being. You just didn't know it at the time. And so when it comes to intuition, and we feel and we become a lot more acquainted with this sensational space, which is the essence of stillness, just full awareness of presence. And that is often full awareness of the sensations in the body. We get to a place of self-trust. But if we really sit with that for a little bit, we begin to see that it's not really trusting a self at all. It is just trusting all of this reality exactly as it is. When we allow ourselves to live by intuition and by this sense of trust, we begin to just be okay with things as they are. In essence, we are telling ourselves that we can be with any effect. And by being with any effect, it doesn't matter what kind of storm is rolling through. We can be with it. We don't have to judge it. We don't have to resist it. We don't have to avoid it. There's resilience. We can feel anything, and we can feel it all the way. It doesn't have to make us run or hide or puff up and fight. That is the state of intuition. That is the state of trust that will show you so much about your authenticity. It is your truest nature. It is built in, and to at least experiment with it in some minor ways will begin to show you more and more and more. And it can likely lead to having the entire cover blown off, which is kind of the point. And then what you'll start to see is that trust out here with other people, with other situations, with life in general, will become a lot more clearer. Practice that. Allow yourself to trust yourself. Trust what you feel, and you'll begin to see that things will move a lot more effortlessly out here in the content area. That life itself just becomes a lot more effortless and isn't difficult, and there's nothing worthy of resisting, and there is no cause or origin that is worthy of chasing when you can always just be right here, right now, with any effect. This is intuition. This is the core voice. This is the part of you that somehow has never changed, yet is always changing. It is the universe, it is awareness, it is consciousness speaking directly to us. And as mentioned before, it doesn't always show up in words. It is a feeling. It can be felt. Spend some time with it. Learn to trust it. And if you really want to kind of take that next step, see if you can go take some improv classes, because improvisation will teach you plenty about where hesitation shows up and where authenticity and intuition are being blocked or muted. Intuition has no why. It has no reason. But it is something that we can always feel. It is something that we can trust. So run some experiments. Play with it a little bit. And maybe you can see that intuition is always speaking directly to you.